Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of AI News, Drama, and Updates. We're going to be talking about the happenings of the AI world that have taken place towards the end of January here. We're going to be talking a little bit about ChatGPT, a little bit about OpenAI, Microsoft, and a couple of other things that have taken place in the AI space. All right, so one of the first things I want to talk about today is OpenAI and ChatGPT Professional, which is something I hinted at in the last video. We're talking about the future of ChatGPT, in which it's not going to be a free service for everyone to just kind of use willy-nilly. I think we all saw this coming. It's a very expensive thing to run something so powerful as this data model for ChatGPT. Microsoft is getting involved in trying to find a way to monetize it for themselves and integrate this into their stuff. However, with all that said, this isn't going to be just under Microsoft's umbrella. It looks like OpenAI, ChatGPT, it's not going to be exclusive to Microsoft even in the future, or at least that's what's planned right now. And looking at some of what they're offering here, it's basically an always available, faster version of the service without any slowdown. I've never really had any of the blackout stuff or any of that other stuff going on that maybe other people have experienced, but I haven't probably used it nearly as much as other people. As I was looking through ChatGPT stuff, another thing that I came across that I thought was very interesting is a story about a woman who used ChatGPT to decide whether or not she should leave her husband. So you could see very important decisions being made in the world of AI. As it looks, the woman was having some difficulties in her marriage, asked ChatGPT to kind of write out a story, what ChatGPT thinks she should do, and I guess she executed. So for anyone interested, ChatGPT played out the rest of the story and suggested that she end the marriage. So she did. She's now living happily with her lover, having left her marriage. So that's that. I'm curious what your thoughts are on something like that. Be sure to leave them in the comments below. Now we're talking more and more about ChatGPT, so there are now open source alternatives that are starting to emerge. The problem is that ChatGPT and the concepts that run it are massively powerful. You need mega systems to run it. I mean, we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of GPU video cards, A100, not even things that you can easily access as a consumer. So it's not going to be something that people are going to be easily able to run at home. But of course, as this becomes more and more prevalent, we're going to see less and less requirements needed to run it. We're also going to start to see soon AI chips. Right now, a lot of these systems are running on GPUs, which are not necessarily ideal. They're just very, very fast processors. They're meant for something very different, though. And there is actually invented AI chips that are made specifically to do this type of processing. So as we start to see those types of things become more and more available, become potentially consumer products, we're going to probably see things like this become more viable, potentially. There's also the aspect, though, that other companies are going to want to sell this to you. So the idea of having you be able to do this at home for free, you're going to have to find companies that want to allow you to do that rather than sell it to you. And that's going to be tough in this economic landscape. Switching gears from ChatGPT and talking about Stability AI and going back into the world of AI art, the newest version upcoming of Stable Diffusion, Stable Diffusion 3, they did officially announce that they're going to allow artists to opt out of this. I've already made my thoughts pretty clear on this. This is not actually something that's required, in my opinion. It's my opinion that in the current landscape, in the current models that exist, current artists are not actually as required as they feel that they are. A lot of artists, of course, are feeling some kind of way about having their art immediately integrated into models. I can understand that. I would personally prefer that it doesn't get integrated because most people's art isn't going to be something that's going to benefit the model in most cases. Regardless, moving forward, we're looking towards a future where artists will be able to pick and choose what art will be allowed to be part of the model, what art won't. There are some concerns in terms of the way things work currently. If you're an artist trying to remove your art from the models, there's some issues with how to actually go about doing that. And of course, you don't actually need to prove that you own the art to remove it from the model, which is, of course, its own version of trouble. Ars Technica and a couple of other publications have gone through the process of actually pretending to be an artist and having something removed from models. And the tools that exist, they're not ideal, not yet. But, you know, this is one of many AI things that I think in the future we're going to see this honed into a new process. But what I will say that this is an example of Stability doing more than they should or more than they absolutely need to. They're absolutely not legally required to do any of this. This is something that they're doing just simply to address the concerns of the public. Copyright, and of course copyright law, is only going to protect actual copies. And since nothing is being copied in latent diffusion, this is, again, a very optional thing for Stability to do. Good on them for doing it. I think it weakens their position for future arguments, though. But because artists are just so intense, here's a great example of something that I wanted to share. And I already shared this one on Twitter, so for those who do follow me, they probably have already seen this. But this is an artist who was banned from Reddit, in the art subreddit specifically, because their art looked as if it was AI generated. Turns out it was not. And the mod that actually banned them did so with some choice words explaining that they need to change their style in the future, or other people are going to make the same mistake. So clearly it was this artist's fault for having art that looked too much like what other art looks like nowadays, and it got them banned. And basically artists are now infighting amongst each other because they don't know what is real. Now, that said, that's actually no different than the world of art before AI art existed, turns out. Because if you were a tracer or a photographer or a digital artist versus a painter, every artist was going to have a different opinion on how art you were anyway. And so this is just a new variation in that same version of judgment, which I guess exists very heavily in the art world, I'm coming to find out. But artists who are maybe looking to see companies like Stability get their just desserts or something along those lines are potentially watching the story of Getty Images, which the first AI art lawsuit, from what I'm gathering. Now, this is separate from the Copilot lawsuit that we've talked about. That's a class action with Microsoft and GitHub and Copilot. So this is separate, and this is Getty Images against Stability AI. Because simply the Getty Images logo can be reproduced within, AI art. The assumption is that Getty Images were used to train, which, of course, again, not illegal, doesn't violate any kind of law, but Getty Images is going to try to get money from Stability AI regardless. It'll be interesting to see how they're going to prove what kind of damages and all that other fun stuff, so it'll be something worth watching, but I doubt we're going to see anything useful come of it, and I don't think we're going to see new precedent actually set from this specific instance. And to reiterate, and for those who might be new to the channel, the way that latent diffusion actually works is to essentially give a model many examples of what something could potentially be. And the model is never going to kick out an exact duplicate, especially if it's been given multiple versions of something, and it's going to kind of give it more of an average, or, the medium of everything that it's been shown. So it's a really odd lawsuit. I understand the premise of people not wanting to have their work taken from them. They want to get credit for the things that they've done. But again, this isn't really going anywhere, because when you look at how it actually functions and how it works, nothing is actually being duplicated. And to finish today off, I wanted to end on kind of a fun story, because the world of AI, the new Boston Dynamics video showing a very limber robot. These are always very exciting to watch and to see how smooth. It almost looks CGI with how smooth these things move around. But this is the future. So we're going to take a look at this. It's incredible watching these things move around, and it genuinely looks like CGI. Like, even the way that the box moves and falls, every single one of these Boston Dynamics video, I'm constantly looking to see, like, okay, is this fake? But very impressive. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. I appreciate you liking, subscribing, commenting on the video, all of that good algorithm stuff. If you have any commentary on anything you saw today, or anything you want to add, or any questions about stuff you want to see next time, make sure to drop me a line. And as always, thanks for watching.